Idea, friends. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast desert. You've been walking for days, thirsty, weary, and wondering if you're ever going to see the oasis you were promised. Life at this moment feels cruel. Every step forward feels heavier than the last, and you can't help but ask yourself, why is this happening to me? What if I told you that this is exactly where you're supposed to be? That the desert isn't a punishment, but rather a proving ground, a test to prepare you for the abundance waiting just ahead. You're not lost, you're being refined. And by the end of this journey, you'll see that every painful step was part of a greater plan to build your strength. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because we're about to unravel the signs that you're being tested before a breakthrough. I promise, once you recognize these signs, you'll find meaning in your challenges and the courage to keep going when things feel impossible. Challenges are an unavoidable part of life, and they often appear when we least expect them. These obstacles, however, are not meant to discourage us. They are meant to prepare us. Every trial and setback carries a lesson, a message, or an opportunity disguised in difficulty. When you face these challenges, it can feel as though everything is falling apart, but what's truly happening is a process of transformation that's essential for growth. Imagine you're climbing a steep mountain. Every rock, every slippery path, and every unexpected storm along the way isn't there to stop you. They are there to test your resolve, sharpen your skills, and build your strength so that when you reach the summit, you are not just there, but are ready to stay there and thrive. Challenges are like weights at the gym. The more you push through resistance, the stronger you become. Without that resistance, there's no growth, no progress. Life's difficulties are the same. They stretch us, forcing us to go beyond what we thought were our limits. At first, the weight may feel unbearable. You might feel like giving up, but as you keep pushing, something extraordinary happens. You grow, you adapt, you evolve into a version of yourself you never thought possible. One of the reasons challenges arise before a breakthrough is to teach us resilience. Think about it. If success were easy, it wouldn't mean as much. The value of an achievement isn't just in the end result. It's in the journey it took to get there. The long nights, the sacrifices, the frustrations, they all add layers to your strength, your character, and your wisdom. These challenges force you to dig deep and discover parts of yourself that you didn't know existed. They reveal your hidden strength, your unshakable determination, and your ability to persevere even in the face of uncertainty. Challenges are often life's way of redirecting us. Sometimes we hold on too tightly to paths or plans that aren't meant for us. When things start falling apart, it's easy to feel like the world is against you. But what's really happening is that life is nudging you towards something better. Those obstacles aren't walls to stop you. They're signs pointing you in a new direction. It might not make sense in the moment, but when you look back, you'll see how those challenges were stepping stones to something greater. There's also a powerful psychological shift that happens when we face challenges. They force us to focus, to prioritize what truly matters, and to eliminate distractions. In times of ease, it's easy to become complacent. But when we're tested, we're forced to get clear about our goals and make decisions that align with our highest purpose. Challenges strip away the unnecessary, leaving us with the core of who we are and what we truly want. So, the next time you're faced with an obstacle, remember this. It's not there to stop you. It's there to shape you. It's there to prepare you for the breakthrough that's coming. Every challenge is a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. And with each step, you're getting closer to the version of yourself that's ready for the success you've been working so hard to achieve. Feeling overwhelmed or doubtful is a natural part of life, especially when you're striving for something meaningful. These emotions often surface when you're on the verge of something significant, a breakthrough that could change your life. It's as if the weight of your dreams and the uncertainty of the future come together, creating a storm of emotions that feels unbearable. But what if this overwhelming feeling isn't a sign to stop, but a signal that you're being tested? A signal that you're closer to your goal than you realize? When you're overwhelmed, it's easy to let self-doubt creep in. You might start questioning your decisions, wondering if you're on the right path, or even doubting your own capabilities. It's in these moments that your inner critic becomes the loudest, whispering all the reasons why you're not good enough, or why you should give up. But here's the truth. These doubts and overwhelming feelings are often a sign of growth. They indicate that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and into a space where real progress happens. Growth is rarely comfortable. It's messy, it's challenging, and it often feels like you're walking through the dark without a flashlight. Overwhelm can also be a signal that you're carrying too much at once. Life has a way of throwing multiple challenges at us simultaneously, testing our ability to prioritize, adapt, and persevere. In these moments, it's important to take a step back and recognize that feeling overwhelmed doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're stretching. You're being pushed to expand your capacity and refine your focus. This pressure, while uncomfortable, is shaping you into someone who can handle greater responsibilities and bigger opportunities. Doubt, on the other hand, is a test of your belief in yourself and your vision. When you doubt yourself, it's not because you're incapable, it's because you're venturing into the unknown. The mind craves certainty, and when it doesn't have it, it reacts with fear and hesitation. But doubt is not the enemy. It's an invitation to trust yourself. It's a chance to reaffirm your commitment to your goals and remind yourself why you started in the first place. Doubt tests your resolve, but it also strengthens it. Each time you push through doubt, you're building a deeper sense of confidence and resilience. Feeling overwhelmed or doubtful can also be a sign that you're closer to your breakthrough than you think. Think of it like running a marathon. The hardest part is often near the end, when your body is exhausted and your mind is telling you to stop. But it's in that moment, when you push past the fatigue, that you discover a new level of strength and determination. Similarly, when life feels the most overwhelming, it's often because you're on the brink of achieving something extraordinary. It's important to remember that emotions like overwhelm and doubt are temporary. They don't define you and they don't last forever. Instead of resisting them, lean into them. Acknowledge what you're feeling, but don't let it consume you. Use it as fuel to keep moving forward. Break down the tasks that feel impossible into smaller, manageable steps. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. Progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Feeling overwhelmed or doubtful is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you're human. It's a sign that you're doing something that matters, something that challenges you to grow and evolve. These emotions are part of the process, and they are often the clearest indicators that you're on the right path. When you face them head on and keep going despite them, you prove to yourself that you are capable of far more than you imagined. And that's when the breakthrough comes, when you realize that the very things that try to stop you were the things that prepared you for success. When everything around you seems to fall apart, it can feel like the universe is working against you. Plans unravel, relationships become strained, opportunities slip through your fingers, and life feels like a series of disappointments. It's easy to interpret these moments as signs of failure or misfortune, But what if they are something else entirely? What if the chaos is not a sign of defeat, but a signal of transformation, a preparation for something bigger and better? Life often has a way of breaking things down before building them back up. Think of it like renovating a house. To create something new and beautiful, you first have to tear down what's old, outdated, or no longer serving its purpose. The demolition process is messy, chaotic, and uncomfortable, but it's necessary. In the same way, when your life feels like it's falling apart, it may actually be falling into place. The convergence, it's a process of clearing out what no longer aligns with your purpose to make room for new opportunities, growth, and breakthroughs. When life seems to crumble, it forces you to confront what truly matters. It strips away the distractions and illusions, leaving you face to face with your core values, desires, and strengths. This process, while painful, is a form of refinement. It challenges you to let go of what's holding you back, whether that's fear, doubt, unhealthy relationships, or limiting beliefs. It's as though life is saying, you can't take this with you where you're going, and it's preparing you for the next chapter by removing the baggage you've been carrying. These moments of apparent breakdown also test your resilience and faith in yourself. It's easy to believe in your goals when everything is going smoothly, but true strength is revealed when things go wrong. When you lose what you thought you couldn't live without, when you face setbacks that seem insurmountable, or when you're forced to start over, you discover the depth of your inner power. You realize that even when the world around you is in chaos, you have the ability to persevere, adapt, and rebuild. When life feels like it's falling apart, it also pushes you to embrace change. Human nature often resists change because it's uncomfortable and uncertain. But growth cannot happen without change. And sometimes life forces us to evolve by shaking things up. The end of a job might lead you to a career you're passionate about. The loss of a relationship might open the door to someone who truly understands and supports you. The failure of one plan might redirect you to something far greater than you ever imagined. What feels like an ending is often a new beginning in disguise. It's also important to recognize that these periods of struggle often precede significant breakthroughs. Think of a caterpillar in its cocoon. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. The cocoon is still, and it might even appear lifeless. But inside, a complete transformation is taking place. The caterpillar is breaking down and reforming into a butterfly. The same process happens in our lives. When it seems like everything is stagnant or falling apart, there is often a profound transformation happening beneath the surface. And just like the butterfly, when the process is complete, you emerge stronger, wiser, and ready to soar to new heights. When things fall apart, they also teach you to trust the timing of your life. It's hard to see the bigger picture when you're in the middle of the storm. But every challenge, loss, or failure is part of a larger plan. Life is not random. It's a series of interconnected events that lead you to where you're meant to be. When you look back on these moments, you'll often find that they are turning points, pushing you closer to your purpose and potential. So when life feels like it's falling apart, don't despair. Instead, see it as a necessary step in your journey. Embrace the discomfort, learn from the challenges, and trust that this process is preparing you for something extraordinary. Remember, the darkest nights produce the brightest stars. And from the ashes of what was, something beautiful and new can rise. When you feel like your efforts are yielding no results, it can be one of the most frustrating and disheartening experiences. You work tirelessly, investing your time, energy, and even your emotions into something you believe in only to see little to no visible progress. It's easy to feel stuck, defeated, or even tempted to give up. But what if the lack of visible results doesn't mean you're failing? What if it's actually a test of your patience, persistence, and trust in the process? Often, the most significant growth and breakthroughs happen beneath the surface, hidden from view until the right moment. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. For weeks, there's no visible sign of growth. You water it, nurture it, and ensure it gets sunlight, yet the soil looks unchanged. But beneath the surface, the seed is sprouting roots, anchoring itself firmly to the ground, preparing for the moment it will break through and grow into a strong, thriving plant. Life works much the same way. When your hard work seems to yield no results, it's not because nothing is happening. Often it's because the groundwork is being laid for something bigger. It's a period of preparation where your resilience, focus, and dedication are being refined. This period of stagnation, where progress seems invisible, also tests your ability to stay committed to your goals. It's one thing to work hard when results come quickly, but it's another to keep pushing forward when nothing seems to change. This is where true character is built. The ability to persevere in the face of discouragement, to keep moving even when the path is unclear, is what separates those who achieve great things from those who give up too soon. Every step forward, no matter how small or invisible, is a step closer to your breakthrough. During these moments, it's important to shift your perspective. Instead of focusing solely on the outcome, pay attention to the process. Are you learning new skills? Are you becoming more resilient? Are you discovering things about yourself that you didn't know before? These intangible rewards are just as important as the visible results, if not more so. They're the foundation that will support you when your breakthrough finally comes. The journey itself is transformative, shaping you into the person who will be ready to handle the success and opportunities that are on the horizon. It's also worth noting that sometimes progress isn't linear. Growth often happens in bursts, preceded by periods of apparent stagnation. You might feel like you're at a standstill for weeks, months, or even years, only to experience a sudden surge of success or progress that propels you forward. This is why it's crucial to trust the timing of your efforts. Just because you can't see immediate results doesn't mean your work is in vain. Every action you take is a building block, contributing to a larger picture that will reveal itself in time. When you're not seeing results, it's also an opportunity to evaluate and refine your approach. Are there areas where you can improve? Are you putting your energy into the right places? Sometimes the lack of visible progress is a gentle nudge to adjust your strategy or try something new. It's not a sign to quit, but rather an invitation to grow smarter and more intentional in your efforts. These moments also teach you the value of patience. In a world that often celebrates instant gratification, learning to wait and trust the process is a powerful skill. Patience doesn't mean passively sitting back. It means actively continuing your work while trusting that your efforts will pay off. It's about having faith in the unseen, believing that what you're doing matters, even when you can't see immediate proof. The periods when your efforts seem to yield no results are some of the most pivotal moments in your journey. They test your resolve, shape your character, and prepare you for what's to come. These are the times when you learn to dig deep, to find strength you didn't know you had, and to keep going even when it feels like the world isn't noticing. And when your breakthrough finally arrives, you'll realize that every seemingly fruitless effort was a vital part of the process. The roots you've grown during this time will anchor you, allowing you to rise higher than you ever imagined. One of the most challenging and confusing feelings you can experience is being surrounded by uncertainty. The path ahead feels unclear. Decisions weigh heavily on your mind, and every option seems to carry risks or unknowns. It's a space where you feel as though you're standing in the dark, unsure of where to step next. These moments of uncertainty are not just random obstacles. They are often profound tests designed to strengthen your trust, adaptability, and ability to navigate through life's complexities. Uncertainty often arises when you're on the brink of a major shift or breakthrough. It's the space between the life you've known and the life you're about to step into. This in-between stage can feel unsettling because it lacks clarity and familiarity. Yet, this very discomfort forces you to grow. When everything feels uncertain, you're encouraged to develop a deeper connection with yourself, to trust your instincts, and to have faith in the unseen. It's in this space of uncertainty that you're given the opportunity to step into a higher version of yourself. These periods of uncertainty test your ability to let go of control. Human nature craves certainty.